Robert Buchanan and John Hughes star in the Bill Forsyth comedy That Sinking Feeling at midnight here on Scottish. Now though, Colin Young introduces the work of new directors in some more first reels. Some of the material featured in the programme contains strong language.
Hello again. Welcome to this second programme in the series which showcases the films of new Scottish talent. The emphasis tonight is on films which depart from the usual way of telling stories, but still pack their own kind of punch.
Tool is the voyeuristic journey of a woman through male-dominated practices within central Scotland's working-class culture. It deals with pigeon keeping, greyhound racing and the Protestant Orange Lodge. The film deliberately doesn't use dialogue which would pinpoint it to one geographical location.
Sensoria is 5 short experimental films by 5 directors, 2 Scottish-based and 3 Italian-based, and each film tries to illustrate one of the 5 human senses. My contribution to the project, taste, is really about what motivates us to want a particular flavour. I thought it would be interesting to explore what happens inside the mind of a character when they're restricted to eating only one type of food. film Hearing by Roberta Torre tries to express the way that women try to find a voice in male-dominated society. The video Touch by Salvatrucha portrays a man roaming the streets of Palermo, touching everything he sees. Parallel to this runs the image of a traditional Arabian drummer, and this creates a direct link between the sensation of touching and the creation of music.
At 8:30, I considered that a dark and golden body here may be a sign of some imbalance. But these effects are theatrical compared to the disturbance experienced between mind and the chemistry of the brain. At 9, I recalled that, of course, some simple substances such as tricycles, monoamine oxidase inhibitors, serotonins and lithium carbonates can have a profound influence, as between madness and sanity, normal perception and wild hallucination.
I wanted to make a film about how something subtle in our environment can affect a physical change in the body and then, in turn, affect the way that we feel and act.
It would seem that somewhere deeply buried in the centre between one eye and the other, there is lodged a tiny funnel, and that the golden stuff falls through and then makes magic with the pharmacy within.
The film's a riddle which the characters involved in giving us clues to as well as unfolding for ourselves.
(11:30). Now, it will interest you to learn that in the treatment of 12, tuberculosis, cholera, diabetes, gangrene, 12:30, obesity, chronic gastritis and hysteria, for circulation, anemia, varicose veins, 1, chilblains, heart disease, herpes, psoriasis and jaundice in the newborn, and for the reduction of airborne bacteria, it has been prescribed.
A thousand Ruths trail like scenes from the biblical epic. Refugees swept aside by conflict that is beyond human comprehension.
Excuse me, you know what they say?
Better out than in?
No, they say that the transformation of matter into waste has been mankind's most ancient preoccupation.
Shoot the Refugees is about a taxi driver and her celebrity passenger.
Fancy that. Me not recognising you straight off. And it was you that got all that charity stuff on the telly, wasn't it?
I would like to think it was the reports that first alerted the public.
That was some of the best TV I've ever seen.
Thank you. I felt the public would be moved.
Whole night of comedy, a day of pop, who wouldn't be moved? Takes a disaster in Africa to get anything decent on the box.
Refugee, refugee.
While this movement represents the aim to contain the refugees to this area here in the no-fly zone.
Lovely girl, lovely song. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that tonight's proceeds are going to... We have raised £3 million, which is absolutely fantastic.
It begins in outer space and ends inside the celebrity.
I'd just like to say a simple thank you to some of those without whom none of this would have been possible.
The whole film serves in anticipation of an event which never actually occurs. A man approaches a woman in a hotel lobby, but unable to communicate with her, he steals a hairpin from her hair and later uses it to pick the lock of her hotel bedroom.
How you doing?
Whoa! 3 things for bikers to remember is a group of short films concerning motorcycle enthusiasts and maybe the dangers they could encounter in their lifestyle.
Who's that? Who's that? Holy cabbage, Twitchy! This is my moment. Someone needs me. Come on!
Oh, whoa, Thumper. It looks a bad one.
You're right there, Twitchy. Calmness and clear thinking at all times.
Should we run and get help?
He may not have time to wait. That means it's time for first aid.
Whoa!
They show the viewer how to resuscitate someone and fix his leg.
Oh man, what's happening?
Thumper, he's recovering. It's okay, mate. Everything's in control. You had a spill, but my mate Thumper there just saved your life. Everything's going to be all right. Lay your head down and relax. Good work, Thumper.
I did it! I did it, didn't I? I saved someone's life. I did it because I was prepared, I was calm, and I was confident. I'll go and get medical assistance now.
Thumper, don't forget your green cross code.
Number 3 is called You Never Forget Your First Coma. That's a pub conversation between grandfather and grandson.
Tell me about your first coma, Grandad.
Now, well, son, there's a story. There is a story. But first, I'll ask you a question. What are your feelings towards women's legs?
Well, they've got knobbly knees, Grandad.
Ah, well then, I think you're too young yet to appreciate the marvel of a perfectly shaped, smooth pair of women's legs. You see, son, some of God's beautiful creations are things of pleasure, like bikes. But some of God's creations, although beautiful, are things of terrible danger. Now, the legs of a woman can bewitch and bedazzle a man so that he can leave himself exposed to that most fatal of all things, death.
It's quite experimental, so as much as it's about anything, it's about sexuality.
Finally, look at the weather. A mainly dull and drizzly days forecast, although there could be some brighter spells by lunchtime. Relatively mild, temperatures going up to around 11 Celsius, 52 Fahrenheit.
Valencia,
which is about
south
average at this
3,
time of year. Winds
south
will be
southeast
light,
4,
mostly easterly.
38 miles, 1000 Smith Royal Sovereign, Sovereign, steady, east by north 4, What of Lewis Smith 11 Matic, south north by west 4, 1, Channel 27 miles, Matic, 1000 metres by by 3, east, rising only 50 metres, Sunborough, south.
It looks at fetishized ideas of the weather and the associations you make during childhood with different weather situations.
Occasional drizzle, moderate with fog patches becoming good.
She told you what happened? It wasn't like that. That's not what happened. It was something that we shared, something that we had. No, no. The answer is that I was hungry.
King of Glory is the story of a sick man's need for forgiveness.
Threw it at me.
The idea was to make a film about compulsion and about charity as well, about a do-gooder who was a hypocrite.
I need you here.
I need you, and I love you, I do. But we have to be strong and say that would that my personal concerns interfere not with the greater good of God, that I have the courage to give my husband the strength to carry out his calling in God's name. Amen.
You have to forgive and you have to be forgiven.
playing for over 30 years. I'm not the type that plays in bands or any of that kind of stuff. I like to keep myself to myself.
It's the perfect antisocial instrument, and we like the idea that this man found a use for something, like the underneath the motorway, to practice his rather antisocial little art.
It was clear to me that whoever designed this stuff had the piper in mind. I mean, where else could you find this kind of space without as much as a soul to disturb?
When he actually starts playing the bagpipes, we only hear the noise of cars, because we were being sympathetic to his aims.
I'm hungry.
Hello, sé céirc agusú scial mucéir íoran gaelach a chanig amach vo uor. Hello, Céirc agusú is a story about a Gaelic-speaking metal hen that is hatched from a gold egg. I created this metal hen to help me teach myself Gaelic, because I find it difficult to teach myself Gaelic from books.
Missing you already. About a...
Golf, Malishka.
Geri orm sy bonach ar an flwr ianw le o'r chapwr yn gapan I gradog I hen sy'n ianw.
You won't believe me, but I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. You might find the night time's the right time for kissing. Nighttime is my time for just reminiscing.
For me, making a film is dealing with a good script. You gotta hear the equipment you are going to use, and you gotta hear the budget. And it's keep them moving, keep them moving, keep them moving, not to drop them. And finally, if you are successful enough, what you got is a film.
There'll be no one less that someone is you.
I wanted to create events that would never normally happen in real life.
That's it for tonight. Next week is the last in this showcase series, and the emphasis will be on animation and documentary. I'll see you then.